Hi, everyone. Thankful to have you here this Wednesday, February 12th. Guys, and I address mainly the guys out there as we are usually the most to forget, Valentine's Day falls on this Friday, February the 14th. Just a little reminder, trying to help everyone out. Not to say that the ladies might not have forgot, but you know how it is. More often than not, it's a guy thing. I get it. Just wanted to help everyone out if I could. Glad to have you with us tonight. You'll notice that behind me the rains have returned after a very welcome and needed absence of several hours. We, at this time, 24 hours ago, had been speaking to you about rainfall totals backing off just a bit. Well, I don't want to say they've leaned back to where they were, but close to it. I've got a timeline for you. I've got the flood watch in effect. I've got all those details weather-wise, the concerns that we need to have in regards to any flooding tonight. And we're still talking about heavy downpours at times, and that's the real concern. 1 to 2 inches of rainfall we can deal with, even on top of a lot of rain. But you get it in a narrow window on top of a lot of rain. That's the issue. The best story you're going to hear about or read about this week is coming out in tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent, and I include all the programming this week for Your News Today in that as well, because it's going to make for a wonderful read. It's going to be cute, entertaining. I'm finding myself lacking in describing the other ways to tell you about a story about a very healthy and happy mom and baby boy and family of 4 who went through a very traumatic experience a week ago today. But she sat down with our editor, Heather Oney, who has penned a wonderful story about how this little baby boy came into their lives much quicker and unexpectedly than they had thought last week. So look for that in tomorrow's paper. I'll give you a glimpse about more in just a few seconds on that note. Also, a sad follow-up. They report that we were going to do a follow-up on as soon as he had recovered. I first learned about Timothy Coleman in any form or fashion about a month ago when he was seriously injured in his jet go-kart crash, and immediately intrigued by his YouTube channel and his postings, of which we've been following, and even throughout his recovery process. But it's turned into a tragic story, and I'll have that for you in just a few seconds. And 57th District pairings, schedules, everything you need to know about 57th District tournament starting a week from this coming Monday. And some highlights from last night's Morgan County boys matchup with McGoffin. You didn't feel this one. We felt the last one. I don't think anyone in Sagersville, McGoffin County felt this one, but the U.S. Geological Survey did confirm and report a 2.8 magnitude earthquake, as they most often are, centered down around the Tennessee and Kentucky border. It happened after noon today, shortly thereafter, in Fincastle. That's about 15 miles or so, I believe, out of Middlesboro. No damage or anything to report, of course, but a 2.8, as is any earthquake that you mentioned in Kentucky, certainly reportable, in my opinion. Medical marijuana has crossed another hurdle in our state legislature, in our state's capital, and a leading sponsor for the bill to make medical marijuana legal, Representative Jason Nemes, says that he believes that the bill has enough support to make it through the House and on to the Senate. As a measure to make it legal here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, did pass a House Judiciary Committee by a vote of 1 no and 17 yes earlier today. A lot of advocates pushing to legalize medical marijuana, and one of those, of course, Mr. Nemes, who believes he has some support behind him, enough to possibly see it through. I'll see you right after this with the first of our local headlines. McGoffin County Heating, Cooling, and Refrigeration, with professional, licensed, and certified commercial and residential service technicians that can maintain and repair all manufacturers, with new and old installation and financing available, serving McGoffin, Morgan, Lawrence, Martin, Johnson, Floyd, and Breathitt counties. McGoffin County Heating, Cooling, and Refrigeration, 349-1058 or 225-6779. Hey guys, you know the new chicken sandwich that your Sagersville Lee's famous recipe just perfected? Well, the only thing better than that is getting one for free. And that's what you can do. If you clip this coupon out of this week's edition of the Sagersville Independent, you buy one Lee's famous recipe chicken sandwich, you get another one for free. An incredible deal on an incredible sandwich, only with this coupon from the Sagersville Independent and only at your Sagersville Lee's. Hey everybody, come and meet our pet of the week. Meet Cammie, a very playful young girl who just wants to have fun and who would make a great addition to any home. Cammie's about 1.5 years old, great with other dogs, and doesn't mind cats. If you'd like to make Cammie a part of your family, contact the Johnson County Animal Shelter. This adoption announcement proudly sponsored by Dr. Tom Abel of Able Eyes in Lexington and Campbellsville.
At work, we do a lot of live shows with crowds. I used to sit up there and not really know who was looking at me. I was finally tired of contacts and glasses, tired of paying for contacts, and I just decided I need to get these eyes fixed. Able Eyes was great. If someone asked me if they should get LASIK, I would absolutely recommend it. At first, like many people, I'm hesitant, but after going to Able Eyes and they walk me through it, I know that it's a quick and painless process, and I recommend going to Able Eyes. They were the best.
Right now, you can take advantage of their lowest prices of the year at $1,800 per eye.
Tomahawk Feed and Farm Supply, the region's largest inventory and lowest prices on feed for pets and livestock. And now they have Bernie, gear so warm you'll think it's summer, shirts and outerwear, overalls and more for gentlemen and ladies. And Tomahawk always has the best prices on pickup and delivery of gravel and rock. That's dense grade all the way up to big class 3 and drain pipe 4 inches all the way up to 72 inches. Tomahawk Feed and Farm Supply in Sagersville at red light number 4. Happy Valentine's Week from the Seasonal Shop, where the shop is filled with new arrivals just in time for you to surprise your sweetheart or give yourself a little something special. New Mud Pie home decor, Simply Southern, and the Charlie Page spring lines are just some of what's new. And with Valentine's Day just around the corner, let us help you make the day special for your Valentines and your little sweethearts too. The Seasonal Shop will be delivering Friday to all county schools and in-town businesses and residences. Call 349-3223 to place your order or find out more at the Seasonal Shop. Need an oil change? Are your brakes shot? Are you ready to turn the wick up on your diesel or lift up and accessorize your 4x4? Or get that dent fixed once and for all? Then call the professionals at Black Smoke Performance for all of your maintenance needs and auto body repair, from insurance collisions to full restoration projects. Black Smoke Performance on May Drive in Dixie of Sagersville, 349-8785. Well, a follow-up next, and certainly not the follow-up that we were looking forward to doing. A very tragic and sad ending to a Magoffin County man's life that I really just first learned about a little more than a month ago, or approximately a month ago, in what began as coverage of an accident here locally that had EMS responding to the down and around area here in Magoffin County in the Middle Fork area. And immediately I became intrigued about this obviously intelligent and very brave Sagersville man and his background based on his YouTube channel that we soon learned about. He had crashed on his self-made jet-powered go-kart, and up until that point he had been chronicling this on his YouTube channel, various videos in depth about the construction test flights, if you will. It looks like an aircraft. It indeed is a go-kart meant for the ground. But he was seriously injured and seriously burned, and he returned home days ago in good spirits, as he was nice enough to share it with the world, but sadly passed away suddenly yesterday.
Hello, YouTube. Tim Coleman and his jet-powered go-kart project. Well, as you might recognize from my surroundings, my project has taken a slight turn for the worse.
That was Tim Coleman starting off that video, as he started off all of his videos centered around his jet-powered go-kart project, as simply saying, "Hello, YouTube." In that video, still in high spirits after being seriously injured, after being involved in a crash with his craft that he had fabricated and had been detailing on videos he'd been posting onto his YouTube channel, all of which we discovered after he was involved in a fiery accident back in January. An accident that resulted in serious burns to his body after he himself detailed afterwards losing control of the craft for lack of what might be a proper term, and finding himself upside down in a drainage ditch underneath what he called a very wicked propane fire. He suffered serious burns, mostly to the back of his body, and was taken to the Cabell Huntington Hospital. And he himself detailed just days ago on his social media page that he was home as of February the 7th, talking of his weeks of pain and healing behind him and both ahead of him. Said to be doing extremely well given the circumstances and injuries, with a full recovery ahead of him. However, that changed yesterday. We do not know the circumstances and know very little else about Mr. Coleman, except that he had studied electronics and communications engineering at Mayo, and for the past several years had been a resident of down and around in Sagersville with his wife. According to his neighbors, the retired engineer was said to be doing very well, but yesterday suffered a sudden and serious setback and was pronounced dead at the Palby Hall Medical Center after being rushed there by ambulance. Coleman's videos, entertaining, informative, and educational, among other adjectives that could be used, detailing very methodically along the way the construction and operation of his jet-powered go-kart. In December, obtaining 65.5 pounds of thrust in his accomplishments, and then sharing his videos of some of his first flights, I'll call them, even though they were very well on the ground. I had looked very forward to speaking with Coleman upon his recovery about his project and the possibility of any such like it in the future, as he and it seemed most interesting. Funeral arrangements have been set for Mr. Coleman at the Phelps & Son Funeral Home in Paintsville. I'll have those in our obituary listings in just a moment. Again, funeral service announcements for Mr. Tim Coleman in just a few moments. Going on, the bottom line to our next story is that baby and mom are healthy and happy, albeit with an unforgettable story for the rest of their lives. But I'm sure that was the last thing on Mom's mind a week ago today. It's a story that I encourage you to read in its entirety, as penned by my editor Heather Oney in tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent. Because when Allie Coffey woke up with some light contractions last Tuesday morning around 6 in the morning, wasn't much of a concern. She didn't think much of it. She was still about a month from her due date, but she had a doctor's appointment scheduled for later that morning just for a checkup. So she just went on about her day, driving to the nail salon from the hospital, then her water breaking as she passed the Mountain Arts Center on her way back to the hospital after it was realized that things weren't going as scheduled. Mama ended up cutting the cord in the parking lot of the hospital. Her best friend jumped in the back of the Jeep, taking the very first pictures of what would be a perfectly healthy, happy 6-pound, 2-ounce little baby boy at 4:41, born in the most unplanned and perhaps frightening of ways. But the bottom line is, once again, everyone is happy and healthy, and featured in a very wonderfully entertaining story as penned by our editor Heather Oney in tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent, with the gracious assistance and participation of Allie and her family. So be sure and pick it up tomorrow. I've been doing the show 20 years plus. I've only had the paper for a couple of years, but I can't recall reading or doing a story like this ever. So be sure and pick it up. It is going to make for a wonderful read. And we wish to congratulate Allie and the entire family of 4 on their new arrival. Check it out tomorrow. With that, let's say happy birthday to these folks via tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar. Let's start off with a bunch of birthday wishes this Wednesday. The first for a now 4-year-old, Hunter Ray Phipps. Happy 4th from Mom and Dad, Mama Wanda, and a long list of family and friends. Little friends, I'm sure. Happy 4th birthday, Hunter Ray Phipps. Happy birthday to you. Happy belated birthday wishes, it says, her birthday yesterday, to Katie Bauer. From family and friends, Katie, they hope you had the best day, and one to follow as well. Happy belated birthday to Katie Bauer tonight. And I've got one more. This one is for a now 11-year-old Chloe Arnott. Chloe, from Mom, from Dad, from Logan, and from Isaac. Happy 11th birthday today to you. Happy birthday all. Going on to the calendar, a reminder, mark it down. The first, what will be annual Rook Tournament hosted by the Middle Fork Fire Department, Saturday, March the 7th. You need to register between now and the day before, $20 per team. Prize money based on 50-50, splitting with the number of entries. Everyone welcome to come and watch as well. You don't have to play. They're also going to have a supper there as well, a wonderful meal that includes the drink. The tournament will start at 6 o'clock, Saturday the 7th, at the Middle Fork Fire Department. They hope to see you there. And our Senior Citizens Center hopes to see everyone, not necessarily just seniors, at their free health fair coming up on March the 11th. Also a calendar date you might want to mark down, Wednesday the 11th, 9 to 11 that morning. Free blood pressure checks, blood sugar, cholesterol, and much more at the Lloyd M. Hall Community Center in Sagersville. And one more reminder that the McGough County School District is looking for bus drivers. They offer a comprehensive training program, after which you'll be a CDL licensed driver. Substitutes are paid $15 an hour. Contact William Blankenship in the McGough County Schools. And contact me whenever you've got a birthday, an anniversary, or an announcement like one that you just heard for these groups or organizations. Moving on to funeral service announcements. This Wednesday, one, as I referred to earlier, in honor of 62-year-old Timothy Lee Coleman of Sagersville, formerly of Flat Gap, who passed away on yesterday's date. He's survived by his wife, Tammy Blair Coleman, son Evan Lee Coleman, as well as sister Alicia K. Eisen of Allen. Funeral services are going to be this Saturday at 2 o'clock in the chapel of the Phelps & Son Funeral Home. The family will welcome friends for visitation at the funeral home from 6 to 9 on Thursday and all day Friday, and once again services Saturday at 2. It can be one of the hardest parts of being a parent. You can beg them, bribe them, hold them down and try to force them, and sometimes you still can't get them to take their medicine. Well, problem solved at Parkway Pharmacy with Flavor X. Let your kids customize their medicine with some of the best flavors that really do taste great, and it's totally free with your child's prescription at Parkway Pharmacy. So stop the suffering, theirs and yours, for free, and get your Flavor X flavored medicines at Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville. Don't drive or let your family drive in this or this before doing this. Stopping at Conley Tire in Staffordsville for brakes, oil, alignment, and of course, tires. Thousands of tires in stock every day to fit anything, with 6 months no interest financing and over 33 years of quality service with a smile. Conley Tire in Staffordsville.
Are you tired of the same old cell phone? Want a brand new phone but really don't want to pay hundreds of dollars up front for it? Then Appalachian Wireless has the deal for you. Get the phone you actually want instead of settling for a cheaper phone with the Appalachian Advantage plan. Instead of paying $400 or more for the best phone, simply pay the taxes up front and a few bucks more on your monthly bill. Stop by your local Appalachian Wireless store or dealer today for more information. It's the better, simpler way to pay, and it's called the Appalachian Advantage. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless.
It's the largest inventory in history of Parkway Gun and Pawn, and that means the biggest discounts ever. They are now price matching and often beating any internet deals out there on Ruger, SIG, Smith & Wesson, Taurus, and other handguns, AR-15s, lever, and bolt-action rifles by Diamondback, Rossi, Winchester, and more. And right now, get new handguns and rifles in stock as low as $139 at Parkway Gun and Pawn in Sagersville, 349 Pawn. At Sagersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sagersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sagersville National.
I'm Bill Tinker. I've spent the past 19 years defending insurance companies in car crashes, truck crashes, and slip and falls. Are you involved in a case like that? Is the insurance company giving you the runaround about your medical bills, your benefits, or your lost wages? Contact me at McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
Find something that might be very neatly a little off the beaten path at Creekside Stitching and Feed. and come in and register for their Sweetheart Dinner for Two they're giving away on the 13th. And while you're there, check out the genuine leather belts, wallets, and more with silver or gold nameplates. Rock Bottom Soap Company products made from real goat's milk, custom welder's hats, Candleberry candles, custom embroidered hats and shirts and more done on site. All available in gift baskets for Valentine's Day at Creekside Stitchin' and Feed, 1 mile up Bear Branch off of Route 30. Now let's turn to sports highlights from last night's Morgan-Magoffin County matchup. These two teams facing off 2 times already. Once in the 2A tournament, Magoffin County a 5-point winner back on January the 8th. Then they won by 10 at Morgan County, and it was time for round 3 last night. Would Magoffin County's chances of sweeping the 3-game series be better coming off their win at Central this week? With the fact that beating any team 3 times in a season is hard to do. And even with Magoffin County's Grayson Whitaker opening up the game the best way he knew how, followed by another early 3 by Aiden Barnett, the first quarter was a tight one, with A.J. Conley keeping the Cougars in the hunt, trailing Magoffin County 12-11 to finish the first quarter. And this Cougar rebound by Jake Helton with the finish underneath gave Morgan County a brief lead, 14-15, with 1:30 to play in the second. Immediately after which, Magoffin County went on a 7-0 run, including Isaiah Salyer from 3-point range. And this basket, off the inbound by Bailey, ups Magoffin County by 12. Right after which the Cougars are amiss as Aiden Barnett rebounds, thinks it over, and takes it to the rim for 2 and a 14-point lead and a Morgan County timeout. And this play from Salyer to Bailey keeps that 14-point spread at the end of the half. Later, with Mason Lovely with the pull down, Isaiah Salyer gets it out to Barnett, who's all alone, and the Hornets get their largest lead at 18 with 5 minutes to go in the third. Now, down the stretch, Coach Perry's Cougars claw their way back to within 10 with this 3 from Connor Gilliam. And at the 2-minute mark, Helton takes the basket and the 1 to get Morgan County as close as 7. But that was as close as the Cougars would get, as Magoffin County takes the 3-game sweep with a final score last night, 65-51. First, let me say, last night I think I said that all the 57th District games had been played. That was, of course, not correct, but the 57th tournament has been set with still a few games left. I'll get into the complete schedule and times and dates and pairings for the 57th District tournament in just a few moments. Right now, let's wrap up recent game coverage. The Magoffin County Hornets win over Morgan County last night, 65-51, puts the boys at 14-11 and puts them with only 4 games left on the regular season, including, and they're all road games for the boys, by the way. Tomorrow night's doubleheader is the next one for the boys. The girls and boys both travel to Jenkins for a doubleheader tomorrow night. The boys will be in action Saturday at East Ridge, Tuesday at Shelby Valley, and Thursday of next week at Pike County Central. If nothing changes, that's the final 4 games for the Hornets this regular season. Once again, 14-11 with that one, albeit big win against Johnson Central for a district win this season earlier this week. For the Lady Hornets, they are, after their 21-51 loss at Central on Monday night, sitting at 2-20. They have a few more games left on their regular season schedule. Like I said, they're at Jenkins tomorrow night for the first half of that doubleheader. They were set to play Montgomery County last night and then a makeup game tonight. Both of those, including tonight's game, canceled. So tomorrow night's road game at Jenkins is the next one for the Lady Hornets. They've got 2 more home games left on their regular season schedule and for the year, obviously. Saturday, they're hosting Phelps. Monday, they're at East Ridge. It was a home game. It's now an away game. Thursday of next week at Betsy Lane, and then hosting Prestonsburg on February the 21st. That is the final home game for the Lady Hornets. Turning over to Paintsville, Coach Sloan and the Tigers. A win over Floyd Central, 77-58 last night. That was a home game and a win for the Tigers. That puts the boys from Paintsville at 13-10, 4-1 in the 57th district. They've got one more district game to go. We'll elaborate on that in a second. They are at Martin County this Friday night at 7:30. That is one of their 3 games left on the regular season schedule. They're all road games. Friday night at Martin, Tuesday of next week at Pikeville, and Thursday at Raceland. As for the Lady Tigers, their 35-51 loss to Prestonsburg way back on the 4th has given them time off until tonight. They're at Johnson Central, 7 o'clock, and they've got a total of 5 games, including tonight's, left for their schedule. 2 home games next Monday and next Wednesday, Floyd Central and Fairview for the Lady Tigers. Coach McKenzie's Golden Eagles, last game, of course, Monday, a loss to Magoffin County at Central by 1, 57-58, final score in favor of Magoffin County. They're off till Saturday. It's a road game at Scott County, Monday at Prestonsburg, and then next week, Tuesday at Floyd Central. One more home game out of the 5 games remaining for Central. That's hosting Shelby Valley next Thursday. They'll wrap up at Lawrence County on Friday. And the Lady Eagles win over Magoffin County this Monday night, 51-21, as we said. Gives them 5 games left, counting tonight's home game. They're hosting Paintsville. And then they've got a road game Saturday at East Ridge. Then 3 home games to finish it off next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Lawrence, Belfry, and Floyd Central. Now, here's what all of that adds up to as far as the 57th District Tournament is concerned. It tips off Monday the 24th, a week from this coming Monday. It will do so with 2 girls' games that Monday. Remember, all games at the new Martin County High School. Game 1, you've got the 4-seed Magoffin County and the 1-seed Martin County. Tip-off set for 6:30 on that Monday night. Game 2 will be at 8:15 between Paintsville and Johnson Central. As far as who's going to be the 2-seed and 3-seed, well, it doesn't really matter. We know they're both going to play in Game 2 as the 2 or 3, whichever one it is. The reason for that being is that Johnson Central right now is 3-2 and Paintsville is 2-3. So depending on how their last game between each other turns out, one will be a 2-seed, one will be a 3-seed, but they're both going to play in Game 2 regardless at 8:15. And that will finish, of course, first-round girls matchups. A pairing that is yet to be decided is the first round for the boys Tuesday night on the 25th. The number 4 seed is Magoffin County. Magoffin County will play the number 1 seed, who is yet to be determined. Paintsville and Martin County both right now 4-1 in the 57th District. They play this Friday night, and that will decide the 1 and 2 seed, and the 1 seed will be taking on Magoffin County in round 1 for the boys. That is Tuesday the 25th, not this coming Tuesday, but the next, at 7 o'clock. And, of course, that game between Paintsville and Martin County will also determine the other half of the first-round game between Johnson Central and either Paintsville or Martin County. The loser of Paintsville-Martin County will take on the number 3 seed, Johnson Central. That boys' game set for Wednesday the 26th, also at 7 o'clock. So Wednesday, 7, Central, and the loser of Paintsville and Martin County. Then the girls' championship for the 57th will be Thursday night, 7 o'clock. The boys' championship will be Friday night at 7 o'clock. And a reminder, all games will be played at the new Martin County High School. Now, a serious look at a serious flooding potential in your forecast. These are the latest updates and details from the National Weather Service and powered, of course, by Licking Valley RECC. Right now, I'm hoping and really don't expect to see or experience anything more than maybe some thunder as far as storms are concerned. That doesn't mean we won't get in on some good and possibly heavy downpours. In fact, we're quite likely to. And rainfall rates of up to an inch an hour are still possible. Fortunately, like I said last night, we just won't see an hours long at a time of those rates. At least we don't expect to. Right now, new rainfall estimates from the National Weather Service have us back up just a bit from where I was 24 hours ago. And Magoffin, Johnson, right along that line, as we most often are. Between maybe 1.5 to 2 inches on the heavy side to an inch and a half on the lighter side. But that inch to inch and a half, should it fall all at once under some heavy downpour or potential thunderstorm, that could cause some very serious and very quick flash flooding issues. So you're going to have to keep your eye on the weather. As for the flash flood watch, it's still in effect for the same coverage area, which is all of eastern Kentucky and most of the state, but as well the same time frame, from 7 o'clock this evening through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Look for those showers tonight to begin mainly after 9. We'll, of course, see some fog late during the overnight, early morning hours tomorrow, 4 or 5 or so. We're also going to watch temperatures climb out and ahead of this line up to around 52 by about 1 o'clock in the a.m. Winds will start off light, 5 to 10, gust upwards of 29 miles per hour is possible. And rainfall amounts right now between 1 and 2 inches during the late and overnight. For your Thursday, a 50% chance of those showers lingering till about noon, maybe another quarter of an inch for everyone as far as your Thursday is concerned. The bulk of the rain will be tonight, with westerly winds tomorrow, again, maybe 8 to 10 on average, up to 21 mile per hour gusts on your Thursday. Thursday will dry out as far as the precipitation is concerned, not the ground, and we will be left with maybe some flurries late tomorrow night, mostly cloudy and a low of 23, and a drying pattern as well for Friday and for Saturday, not so much your Sunday. But Friday we'll see some sunshine, and check out the cold air. 30 degrees for your daytime high, still into the low 20s, close to the teens for Friday night. But sunny, becoming sunny. We'll start off with some clouds through maybe early or midday Friday, early afternoon. But becoming sunny, we think, and mostly clear that night. Saturday, perking back up to about 46 under still mostly sunny skies. Clouds will increase Saturday night. That's out and ahead of our next chance of rain, which is only about a 20% chance for Sunday, but mostly cloudy, a 20% chance, 49 and 36 for your high and low on your Sunday. And then our next round of rain ramps up for the first of next week. I think we'll start off with a little partly sunny sky here and there on Monday, which is Washington's birthday, 58 degrees, a 20% chance of rain early, but a likelihood to wrap up your Monday to the tune of about 70%. And rain chances for your Tuesday, also at 70%. Wednesday, still holding on to more clouds and a 50% chance of rain, as if we're going to need it. And while I don't want you to take your eye and your mind completely off the weather, especially if you live in a low-lying or flash flood-prone area, but if you want a little distraction, here's one for you. Check out your today's date in weather history. Back in 1985, we were under a much different scenario. 4 inches to up to a foot of snow was recorded throughout much of the eastern Kentucky area. Jackson had 12 inches of snowfall. That still stands as a daily record snowfall for February the 12th, as well as the most ever received during the month of February. And that's a wrap. Above all else, keep your eye on the flooding potential for this evening, and we hope to have your eyes back on the show and in the Sagersville Independent on tomorrow. Good night, and thanks for watching.